The Parliament of Georgia adopted the draft law on foreign influence in the third and final reading. 84 MPs voted in favor of the draft law, 30 MPs voted against it, and 58 abstained. As during the voting for the draft document in the second reading, there was a verbal altercation between MPs from the ruling party and the opposition, which turned into a fight. About 20 parliamentarians took part in the scuffle. A technical break was announced because of the incident. After the technical break, the clashes between the opposition and the ruling majority continued in the parliamentary hall. The day before the vote, the Georgian Parliament's legal committee considered and approved the draft law in the third reading in 67 seconds. According to the head of the committee, Henri Okanashvili, the third reading provided for only editorial amendments, which the ruling Georgian Dream Party deputies did not have. President Salome Zurabishvili has promised to veto the document if it is passed in the third reading. However, the ruling Georgian Dream Party has enough votes in parliament to override the presidential veto. Meanwhile, mass protests against the law on foreign agents continue unabated in the center of Tbilisi. Since morning, thousands of protesters have come to the building of the Georgian Parliament, joined by students from dozens of universities in the country, who earlier announced a mass strike in the capital. Demonstrators tried to block the entrances to the Parliament building to prevent MPs from the ruling party from entering the voting hall. But police pushed back the protesters and blocked the streets leading to Parliament, allowing the MPs to enter the building unhindered. After the law was voted on, the protesters tried to break into the Parliament building. To do so, they broke a metal fence, but law enforcers standing behind it began to detain the demonstrators. The draft law on transparency of foreign influence envisages the appearance of a register where all non-commercial legal entities and mass media financed by more than 20% from abroad will be listed. On March 7, 2023, the Georgian Parliament approved the bill in the first reading, which led to mass protests. On March 8, the action resumed, and on the morning of March 9, Georgian Dream and the Power of the People movement withdrew the bill from Parliament. Despite this, Georgian Dream reintroduced the bill to Parliament in early April of 2024. Unlike the first version, the revised document uses the wording "an organization pursuing foreign interests" instead of the term "agent of foreign influence." On April 17th, it was adopted in the first reading, and on May 1st in the second reading. The adoption of the document was accompanied by a scuffle between representatives of the pro-government majority and the opposition.